Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining this little workshop on mindfulness meditation. We hope it helps you to recharge for the road ahead. I love this quote from the happiness hypothesis, written by Jonathan Haidt. Suppose you read about a pill that you could take once a day to reduce anxiety and increase your contentment. Would you take it? Suppose further that the pill has a great variety of side effects, all of them good, increased self esteem, empathy, and trust. It even improves memory. Suppose finally that the pill is all natural and costs nothing. Now, would you take it? That pill exists. It's meditation. I think it's a wonderful way to introduce you to the benefits of mindfulness meditation. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So just in general, know that there are different definitions for mindfulness and mindfulness meditation out there. Mindfulness, though, can be encapsulated or described this way: paying attention on purpose, intently, in the present moment, with openness and without judgment. Some people say with kindness and curiosity, but the focus is on this moment, not worrying about what happened previously, not worried about what might come tomorrow, focused on right here and right now, this moment right here that we can take in. It's that state of noticing what's going on in our awareness. That can be things outside of our body or inside of our body, our emotions, sensations as they happen, etc. And it's accessible to all. It doesn't matter what background you come from in terms of religious or other types of philosophy. These are mental training tools that everyone can employ, and people all over the world have employed them for thousands of years to great benefit, as the quote by Jonathan Haidt describes. It can do so many wonderful things for you. And it's not a panacea. Not everybody practices the same. Not everybody has the same results. But in general, it's been a very definite benefit for many, many people. And even in the research I've done for my dissertation and otherwise, it's demonstrated very significant benefits. As a matter of fact, currently, I am right now in another country about to preparing to present a workshop about mindfulness-based skills that can help people handle all the trauma and stress that they're dealing with. But here's another look at why mindfulness is a superpower, and you'll get another definition in this video.
You may have heard this word mindfulness. It's become something of a buzz phrase of late. I'm going to give you one simple, serviceable definition, which is this. Mindfulness is the ability to know what's happening in your head at any given moment without getting carried away by it. Imagine how useful this could be. Just as an example, you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off in traffic. How do you normally react? I think most of us, we normally react by having a thought, which is, I'm pissed. And then what happens next? You immediately, habitually, reflexively inhabit that thought. You actually become pissed. There's no buffer between the stimulus and your reaction. With just a little bit of mindfulness, in that same situation, you might notice my chest is buzzing, my ears are turning red, I'm having a starburst of self-righteous thoughts, I'm getting angry. But you don't necessarily have to act on it and chase that person down the road, screaming at them with your kids in the back of the car thinking you've gone nuts. Now, you might be thinking, don't I need to get angry sometimes? Aren't I justified? I would say yes, but probably not as much as you think. The proposition here is not that you should be rendered by mindfulness into some lifeless, non-judgmental blob. The proposition is that you should learn how to respond wisely to things that happen to you, rather than just reacting blindly. And that, my friends, is a superpower. How do you get it? The way to get it is through meditation. I believe that meditation and mindfulness are the next big public health revolution. In the 1940s, if you told somebody you were going running, they would have said, who's chasing you? But then what happened next? The scientists swooped in, they showed that physical exercise is really good for you, and now all of us do it, and if we don't, we feel guilty about it. And that's where I think we're headed with mindfulness and meditation. It's going to join the pantheon of no-brainers like brushing your teeth, eating well, and taking the meds your doctor prescribed for you. Let me just close by saying mindfulness is not going to solve all of your problems. It's not going to render your life a nonstop parade of unicorns and rainbows. Nonetheless, this is a superpower, and one that is accessible by you immediately.
I hope you appreciated that video as much as I do. It really wraps things up nicely in a nutshell. And many of us have had that experience of being cut off in traffic. So now you know you can take a mindful breath, which we'll talk about just momentarily, and change your response to that triggering situation. So, why it matters for college students. College, as you know by now, can be stressful. Sometimes that stress can be overwhelming. There might be persistent, stressful thoughts, anxiety, even about what's to come in the future, how you're performing now. That's academically. And then there's all the other things that are going on while you're in college. I don't need to bring them up for you, but those things can really challenge you. We have these little devices that have become like another body part attached to us all the time, presenting those constant distractions. All these things can have a significant impact on our ability to focus when things matter, can have an impact on our academic performance and overall well-being. So, mindfulness, it can effectively reduce your stress and how you're responding to the challenging situations you face, can help to level out some of the mood swings you may be having. It enhances your concentration abilities. What I noticed as I was going through my dissertation and learning about these skills so that I could teach them and starting to practice them on my own, as I went from having like 40 open tabs on my computer browser window to being able to let that thought go and just stay focused on the task at hand made quite a difference as I was finishing my schoolwork for my dissertation. So, research shows that mindfulness can also boost immune function. A really nice thing to have when you're in large groups of people, improve your sleep quality, and help manage anxiety while you're taking a test. We'll talk about some of those things as we go. So, this is why it really, really matters, right? Mindfulness enhances our mind body connection. It helps to balance our nervous system so that we can regulate our nervous system and activate, when necessary, the relaxation response. We can activate that calm, cool, rest and digest system instead of responding stressed out with the fight or flight anxiousness going on in our bodies relatively regularly, right? And because we can activate that relaxation response, we have enhanced resilience. And this leads to better decision making, improved emotional regulation, and ability to deal with those stressful situations like tests, or as one of the titles of my book recommends, that naked roommate, right? Those challenging roommate situations. It can help us to deal with that. And you don't need to be the best meditator in Penn West. You don't have to be the best meditator at all. It's not about emptying your mind either, because if you're not thinking, might mean you're not alive. So we're not trying to stop our thoughts. However, what we're really doing is noticing thoughts. Oh, that's a thought judging somebody else. Or, oh, that's a thought judging myself. Or, oh, that thought, and just recognizing these thoughts and allowing them, like clouds passing through the sky, to just float on by. Those self-condemning thoughts, oh, you idiot. Wait a minute. I caught that thought. And I don't have to believe that thought. I don't have to act on that thought. I can breathe, and like leaves floating in a river downstream, let those thoughts go and focus on really what's happening in this present moment. And what it is a practice that we practice regularly. And that regular practice leads to consistent progress. Little by little, inch by inch, little by little, we move forward. It's not a quick fix. However, many studies have shown that 20 minutes of practicing for as little as a few weeks, 3 weeks, will have some enhanced benefit for the people who are practicing. So we'll think about that a little bit more in the future as well. And a lot of different ways to do it. One of the most common ways is to bring kind, curious, open-minded attention to the sensations of breathing. Breathing in, know we're breathing in. Breathing out, we know we're breathing out. And that's one way to do it. And there's so many different ways to cultivate this mindfulness, to cultivate presence in our daily lives. If you're washing dishes, oh, the water feels warm, the suds feel slippery, the dishes feel hard. Just noticing what's happening in this present moment. There's also a practice called a body scan, very helpful when you want to activate that relaxation response. Sometimes it's beneficial to do these before you go to bed, just noticing sensations in your body. For instance, right now, I'll just ask, how does that big toe on your left foot feel? Check in with it. What do you notice? Now, you may not have paid much attention to that toe all day, unless you unfortunately happen to stub it or something. But now you might notice that it's warm. You can feel the material around it, or maybe it's open, right? So now you're being aware of sensations in your left foot, specifically the big toe on your left foot. And you can scan your body from toe all the way to the tip of your head and back down again. And that scanning allows you to become more aware of sensations in your body. And it allows you, if you're noticing some tightness, to breathe into that tightness and just allow the relaxation response to activate in that area, sending a little smile to that tight area. And then there's mindful walking. I get distressed by students walking across the yard, walking across the square, walking across campus, and I'll wave to them or say hello to them, and they don't even know I'm there because all they are aware of is the things that's going on in their earphones, right? I myself caught myself looking at my phone while walking so I could respond to a text, but typically I try to stop so that I can walk mindfully, noticing each step along the way, noticing the smells in the air, noticing the sounds around me, noticing right now, especially the beautiful color of the trees. All those things can be present to you and improve your day while you're mindfully walking those 10,000 steps from one place to another. So here's a practice that we can do at just about any moment. You get to a test, you put your hands on the desk. Go ahead and try that now. Put your hands someplace where they haven't been on the desk. And what do you notice? Well, really, what do you notice? Is it hard? Is it smooth? I'm always surprised by the coolness to the touch, right? So that's a way to settle into this present moment right as we begin this 3 breath practice. Just putting your hands on the desk, noticing your body, your feet on the floor. And we're going to take some long, deep inhales and exhales. One point about taking a nice long inhale is that if you put your hand on your belly, when you inhale and you inhale deeply and fully, that allows your lungs to expand all the way out, which pushes down on your diaphragm. And for the room to have, for your lungs to have room, that diaphragm pushes your belly out. So your belly expands when you inhale. Sometimes I see people take a deep breath and they go, and it's like they're holding their breath because they're trying to raise their shoulders. But actually, our lungs get full when we allow all the air to go to the bottom of the lungs, pushing down on the diaphragm and out on the belly. Go ahead and try that. Put your hand on your belly, take a nice long inhale, perhaps to a count of 6. There you go. Hopefully you noticed your hand moving out. So here's the 3 breath micro practice. You can do this at any moment. If somebody's triggered you when you're taking a test, it'll help clear your mind and bring you back to that present moment and allow you access to all those other parts of your mind as your body calms down the stress response. Right? So, on the first breath, you're going to take a nice long inhale, exhale, and you're going to notice your breathing, just noticing air coming in and going out. On the second breath, you're going to take that nice long inhale. And as you exhale, just let the tension go from your shoulders, your arms, your hands. And on the third inhale and exhale, you're going to breathe in. And as you exhale, you can allow this question to arise. What's important now? So that's the talk through. Here's the walkthrough. Do it with me, and we'll just do an inhale to a count of 4, and we'll exhale for a little bit longer, count of 5. So take a nice long inhale. Notice your breathing, and exhale. Next breath, inhale. As you exhale, letting go of tension in your shoulders. Third breath, inhale. And exhale. What's important now? Now try it on your own. First breath in. Second breath. Exhale, relax your shoulders. And the third breath, as you exhale, maybe even bring a smile to your face and say, what's important now? I typically notice that I drop right in and feel so much better after doing that 3-breath practice. Again, it's one you can use at any moment of time. It's always there with you. And so the next practice I'd like to share is similar in nature. It's 1 breath, but it involves a little more actively involving your body. So if you're sitting, I want you to stand. And when you stand, you're going to stand like you're standing at attention. Standing straight up, allowing or imagining a thread flowing through the top of your head, your feet maybe shoulder width apart, so you're standing steadily on the ground. You keep your head up, put your chin down a little bit, and you're going to bring a smile to your face. And you're going to invite that highest version of yourself. Imagine that best version of yourself coming into your mind at this moment, and it's going to advise you, right? So we're going to stand up, standing strong with dignity. We're going to bring a smile to our lips. We're going to take a nice long inhale again. Hold for 2 and exhale. Smile again. And then again, that question, what's important now? So try to flip the switch practice with me. That was the talk through. Here's the walkthrough. While you're standing up, standing tall, smile on the lips. Take a nice long inhale to a count of 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold for 2. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Smile. What's important now? As I'm reorganizing, you can try that one more time on your own. Again, you're standing up in a power pose. If you check out the video from Amy Cuddy, she'll talk about the importance of standing with presence. And you may notice this, you stand like a champion, stand like someone who's winning their game or just won, right? Bring that smile to your lips, invite that highest version of yourself to come and visit with you. Nice long inhale, hold, exhale, smile, ask that question again. What's important? That's the flip the switch practice. And next, I'm going to tell you about this meditation practice, mindfulness meditation practice, and then we'll practice for about 5 minutes. So we start a meditation practice with a reason why we're doing it. In this case, that intention, starting there where the peace sign is, might be so that I notice some inner peace, or it might be so that I can spread peace throughout the world, right? So I can be that peaceful beacon. That's my intention. I'm going to let that intention just kind of nourish the ground that will be the ground of the meditation. And then we'll choose an anchor, something to hang on to. Typically, the anchor is the breath, and you can also notice sounds and focus on sounds. I'll pause for a moment and just notice the sounds coming to you and moving away. Maybe you hear the sound of air handler moving some air in your room, the ventilation system. Maybe you hear the sound of a ticking clock. You can choose that sound, or you can focus on something visual, or you can just focus on your breath. But you're going to choose an anchor, and that anchor is going to be where you return to. Your mind is going to wander. That's normal again. That's what everybody's mind does. Our mind wanders off when we start thinking about what's for dinner, or what's for breakfast, or what so and so said, or what this test is going to be like. Our mind is going to wander. And then we're going to notice, oh, I was wandering. My mind was wandering again. And with that kind, curious, open attitude towards ourselves, right? We're going to treat ourselves nicely in this practice. We're going to reorient our attention back on that anchor. So we start focusing on that anchor again, noticing our breath once again, breathing in, breathing out. So knowing that your mind is going to get distracted, knowing that it's going to be challenging, then you will, with kindness, return back to that anchor. I'm going to start a timer for our practice, and I'll walk you through it. Let me get my timer started here. I'm using an app I'm going to share with you later called Insight Timer. That's a nice way to bring some mindfulness practices into your life. So find a way to get comfortable. And I don't sit cross-legged like that. I'm sitting in a chair. And because that's how we normally sit, I invite you to sit in a chair. And I'll invite you to experiment with sitting with your back away from the back of the chair. So again, that you're sitting with dignity in a way that you're calm, relaxed, but not so relaxed that you're going to fall asleep, right? Alert and relaxed. Again, sitting with dignity. And as you're sitting there, you just notice your feet on underneath. And if it's available, you can put your feet on the ground. And if it's possible, put them flat on the ground so that your entire foot is touching the ground. All right, noticing our feet there, noticing our sit bones in the chair. Notice where you're making contact with the chair. And you may notice sounds coming to you and moving away. Sounds from inside the space, like your computer, or sounds from outside the space. Just allow them to come and go. If it's comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. Or if you're looking at this on a screen, gently look down at the bottom of the screen. And that's the posture. And we're going to start with an intention. Again, a reason why. So that I can be more calm, so that I can be more collected and calm. And we allow that intention to nourish the ground of our meditation. And we'll choose an anchor, and I'll describe focusing on the breath. So we'll start by taking 3 nice long inhales and exhales together. Take a nice long inhale, and exhale through your nose. Breathing in through your nose. And as you exhale the second time, allowing your shoulders and arms to relax, your palms perhaps in your lap. And one more inhale. And exhale, letting go, letting go, letting go. Now, if your anchor is your breath, you may notice the breathing, the sensations of breathing, and the rise and fall of your shoulders, and the movement in and out of your belly. You may even notice that air as it moves across that space between your upper lip and your nose. Being curious about the movement of air with each breath. And when your mind wanders, gently bring it back to focusing on the breath. Sometimes it's helpful to count, maybe up to 10 with each inhale and starting over until you reach 10, or whenever you lose count. Just noticing the breath. And soon you'll hear the sound of the bell. And with the sound of the bell, know you can bring this sense of calmness and clarity with you into each moment, into this moment, and this moment, and this moment. That's the sound of the bell. Thank you for practicing with me. So perhaps that was one of your first guided mindfulness meditation practices. And know that you can find these practices on YouTube and different places in Sight Timing. And as you're thinking about a practice, encourage you to start small. My teacher would say one mindful breath a day. And you can build that and you start to notice the differences, the benefits perhaps, to maybe 1 minute a day or 3 minutes. And it's nice to do it at a regular time, right? Do it at a regular time. You can practice before class or as soon as you get up in the morning, before you go to bed. And if you do it at a regular time, then it makes it easier to remember to do it, and your body gets more comfortable with the practice. Again, there are resources on campus. We offer a mindfulness meditation every Friday at 12:15. You can contact me, Joseph Krosky, jkrosky at Penn West, if you want to be added to that email. And there's some other ways to do it as well. Right now, my church is actually offering a contemplative practice. And so you can join in sometimes with your church. And here's a nice video, again, about mindfulness with a little different perspective. And hopefully, it's one that you'll find beneficial and useful. Let's listen to Sharon Salzberg.
There's a story, usually attributed to the Native American tradition, which illuminates different ways of paying attention. An elder, talking to a child, says, "I have two wolves fighting in my heart. One wolf is fearful, vengeful, envious, resentful, and deceitful. The other wolf is compassionate, loving, generous, truthful, and peaceful." The child asks, "Which wolf will win the fight?" The elder responds, "The one I feed." That doesn't mean we try to deny or hurt or kill the angry wolf. If we did that, we'd end up in a long battle, all the while somehow making that wolf more powerful through our hostility and fear. Hating that wolf sucks the strength right out of us. Instead, We calmly pay attention to the angry wolf and let go of believing they have the answers. If we can do that, they end up lying down next to us, no longer an enemy. We help strengthen the kind and loving wolf, giving it nourishment and support so that we can follow it. That peaceful wolf can become our steady companion and show us the way through all kinds of different life experiences. Restful or chaotic, enjoyable or disappointing experiences may come and go, but we can have a guide with us through it all. This is what mindfulness can help you do. Mindfulness allows us to see our thoughts and feelings as they are beginning. It's very powerful to know what we're feeling as we're feeling it, know what we're thinking as we're thinking it. With mindfulness, we can choose what will strengthen and bring into action, and we can choose what we will gently let go of. We don't have to be at the mercy of old habits or old ways of thinking or old ways of being. We are empowered. It just takes practice.
There's a way to help us understand that distinction, that mindfulness can really help us be aware of what's going on in our body. Oftentimes, our bodies are aware of what's happening and responding to what's happening before our conscious mind can actually know it. So, one time I was having a conversation with somebody, this was years ago. And as it turns out, it was at a 90th birthday party for a real respected member of my church. I was talking to her nephew, and as the conversation kept going, we found out that we had different political perspectives. And I started noticing heat rising in my body, and I was like, oh, this is anger. How do I want to respond to this sensation arising in my body? And then I could choose my response instead of just responding angrily or snapping back in judgment at this other person. It made the conversation go so much better. So here's some resources for you. Again, UCLA has some resources, apps like Insight Timer, which I use tonight, Headspace, Calm. I have a YouTube channel where I share some, as well as, again, on my Zoom during Fridays from 12:15 to 12:30. So we hope that mindfulness will help you to recharge, and we hope that it will be a resource for you to build resilience, to be able to respond in ways you want to respond when you notice that things are challenging. It's scientifically proven, validated. Again, it doesn't work for everyone in the same way, but we're pretty confident it can work for you. And it takes practice, a regular practice, a commitment to regular practice, a daily practice really helps build all those benefits that you'll notice from it. And we'll take one last moment to pause, notice the beauty around you. Nice long inhale and exhale, and make it a good moment. Thank you.